I've got a few questions for you. First two are connected with the fourth chapter of the Sutta Nipata, and there's a preamble to it. In the fourth chapter of the Sutta Nipata, there is a strong emphasis on the importance of having no views or opinions. The holding of views leads to disputes, and if one wins the dispute, one feels elated, while if one loses, one feels dejected. Both of these outcomes are undesirable from a spiritual point of view. Therefore, the wise man holds no views and therefore doesn't get involved with disputes. And I've got a quote from the Sutta Nipata, but I don't suppose I need to quote. Okay. I have two questions regarding this. Firstly, in other parts of the Pali Canon, there's a strong emphasis on right view, albeit as a precondition for having no view. Should we understand the Buddha's teaching in the fourth chapter of the Sutta Nipata to be only meant for those who have a long-established practice based on right view, and who are therefore ready to let go of all views, including right views? Or should we perhaps regard the fourth chapter of the Sutta Nipata to be an alternative tradition which emphasises no view instead of right view?
Of course, the standard position, one might say the central position of Buddhism, is that you go from wrong views to right views to no views. So the question is whether one can jump straight from wrong views to no views. I tend to think that that is not possible, or is so rare as not really needing to be taken into consideration. I do know that there have been attempts on the part of some people to just go beyond all views. Krishnamurti seems to be trying to do something like that. And well, my personal experience with some of his disciples has led to me to believe that that sort of approach results simply in confusion. So I am very, very doubtful, to say the least, whether there can be a leap from wrong views to no views. And of course, it's very difficult to find people who don't have wrong views, at least to some extent. Wrong views are much more common than right views from the Buddhist point of view. Whether in the Sutta Nipata the Buddha was addressing people who are so spiritually developed and who presumably had developed right views, and therefore he could speak simply about no views, I find myself unable to say. I just don't know. But whatever the position may be in that connection, I remain quite convinced, and as I say, this is the general Buddhist position, that one can go to no views only from right views, not make that leap from wrong views to no views. As for the question of views leading to disputes, I think that needs a bit of qualification. I think it's also a question of how strongly one holds particular views. I have said, I think, that if you adhere too strongly, too rigidly to a right view, that can make your right view into a wrong view. So it is not so much the view itself that is a hindrance, but the fact that you adhere to it so strongly. And whether you adhere to it strongly or not can be discovered by a very simple test. If you become annoyed or angry or upset when your view is challenged, that suggests that you are holding it strongly. rather than lightly. And it is that which leads to disputes, not necessarily the holding of views as such. Though of course it has to be admitted that usually when people hold views, whether wrong views or right views, usually they tend to hold them strongly. So it's the holding of views of any kind strongly that we need to be careful about, because that does lead to disputes, and it can lead even to violence, as we know.